mean, we are
It's a singular unit.
We are kind of a unit.
That's true.
So, I am Heather. I always just like completely blank at this. I'm like, who am I though? I don't know.
Should I introduce you?
I mean,
and
maybe.
you introduce me.
I am a mother of 2. I'm a wife. I live in...
No. Out.
I want to give you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, please close the door. We'll be done in a little bit.
Kendrick.
He's downstairs in the basement playing Barbies.
My hobbies include being interrupted by tiny little humans at all times, usually when I'm on the toilet. I've had to say a lot of times recently, please don't hug me when I'm on the toilet. And I feel like that's a weird sentence.
If you're not a mom, it
But
is.
it's like every day.
But if you're a
every
mom,
time.
every mom everywhere is like, yeah, I said that
can
6
relate.
times last week.
Yeah. So, I homeschool my kids, and my husband is a dispatcher for a local trucking company. And, that's about it.
Yeah. So my name's Brittany Snyders, and I am a mom and a wife. I have 2 kids that are 5 and 2, and then I'm due with our 3rd in May. So we'll have 3. And I own an insurance agency that I run locally, and I also own a baby wearing company. And before I owned a baby wearing brand, I was a blogger for the baby wearing industry. So that was a few years ago, and I still stay active on my social media pages, although I don't really blog anymore, to be fair, because I haven't written a blog post in literally years. But I also am currently, well, my oldest is 5, so he's not really in the school district yet, but we're doing homeschooling essentially with him because he doesn't go to preschool, and we don't plan to go to public school. So we're kind of on the same page in terms of things that we do with our kids and parenting and all of that, and we live right next door to each other. So,
Yep. In 2015, my husband and I bought the house that is directly that way. So we live about 30 steps apart. We didn't really know each other. We kind of interacted in a couple local Facebook groups. But didn't really know each other before we moved, or before, my husband and I moved in. And our boys, her oldest and my youngest, are, like
a year apart.
Yeah.
Essentially. Really close.
And so we spent a lot of time hanging out together and found out that we parent almost identically. We practice a lot of natural, attached parenting practices, co-sleeping, extended breastfeeding. We're very passionate about things like that. And we just sort of morphed into like a
giant family unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our husbands are similar. They have similar, vain jobs. Like, her husband is a dispatcher now for a trucking company, and my husband drives a sanitation truck. And so they have a lot in common, and they get along really well and like each other. And so living right next door to each other with kids that are the same age, and husbands that get along with each other and like work on projects, it's just been a natural like progression of the village, as they say, and like co-parenting together, especially because with Heather being staying at home and with me working for myself and largely from home, we are home all the time together. So it's really easy for us to lean on each other and be really close, especially because we're so similar and we do things the same and we think the same and we're like the same person in a lot of ways. So it's really easy for us to be that way.
I think finding couple friends is
hard.
really difficult to do.
Yeah.
In a normal circumstance, and I think we really got lucky in that all 4 of us get along and parent similarly, and the kids get along for the most part.
Yeah. Like siblings do. I mean,
yeah.
They get along exactly like siblings do. They hate each other and they love each other.
Yes, exactly.
So, and our husbands definitely roll their eyes at it a lot. just the everyday everything. I mean, we're a lot to take sometimes, and we're so close to each other that sometimes it's probably a little bit too much for them, whether it's all the kids or even just the two of us.
And we do everything together, like to a weird amount.
We do. We plan like all of our mom stuff together. We do our grocery shopping together. We take our kids to the same activities. We do like we meal plan. Like we bought a half a cow this year and split it, and our husbands purchased together like a deep freezer. So they're in on the enmeshment too.
Yeah.
Just not to the same level that we are. So we do all of that, like, and we go on date nights together.
Yep.
Like
there's like no limit to our togetherness. Yeah, I mean, I was at a wedding not too long ago, and Nick was hunting, and Todd's my husband, Brittany hung out all night, and a friend of mine were like, does that weird you out? No,
it's not weird.
Like, they're planning desserts to smoke, like, it's fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
No, we're all just really good friends.
Yeah.
And, like, again, it helps that we're all similar to begin with.
Right. They're quiet and like reserved, and we are not.
We're loud and obnoxious, and we think we're hilarious. And our husbands just sit back and like roll their eyes together.
We have horrifically crude humor,
and they don't appreciate it.
They don't. It's
like
terrifying. we are constantly making "that's what she said" jokes and sex innuendos and euphemisms, and
they don't think it's as funny as we do.
They don't appreciate our humor. So what we're looking for is an audience
that appreciates
how awesome we are.
And yes, we do think we're a good influence on our kids, if you're wondering.
Absolutely.
I find the whole like mostly play with boys to do boys things the most off-putting.
What does that mean? What are boy things? Like my daughter can't dig for bugs.
How old is your kid? And you've already labeled that they like boy things.
Yeah.
I don't know. My boys like trucks and makeup. They just like things.
I like to play.
I'm sure that my daughter will do all those things with them.
Right.
Like, just like your daughter does. No, Susan, I don't really want to play with you if that's how you're going to be. We're not, it's not a match. Swipe right. I don't feel like, is right no, left yes? I don't know. I think it's the other way.
I don't know.
I think swipe right is yes.
Just swipe
I've
right.
never been on Tinder, because Tinder was a thing after I wasn't single anymore.
It was definitely after my single times.
You comment and be like, well, my daughter can pee standing up, so
Does that count?
does that count? And I'll be like,
Is that on the list of things that you're
I'm
looking for?
not really all that bright, but I'm a fucking smart ass, so. And we get along great.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just a recipe for, winning here.
And the whole
group is like, God damn it, you guys! They're like, stop ruining it! Yeah, we know.
Alright. Okay, so, we have a small following who thinks that everything we do together is awesome, and there's probably a lot of people who think it's weird.
Yeah. There's probably more people that don't like me than do, but I'm fine with that.
We're not cliquey in that we don't ever invite other people to participate in activities that we do.
We're not super social people, though. So I think part of we're in terms of large groups, especially. We're both kind of introverted and homebody type people, which is why, especially living next door to each other, works out really well for us. Because like we've said before, it's hard to maintain mom friendships, and part of it just has to do with getting places and doing things.
Putting your kids in the car, which is the worst.
Which, if you live 10 steps from your best friend with kids, then it's not an issue. And that's part of why this works as well as it does. So...
And you can also be done very quickly if you need to be done. If your
Right.
kid is acting a fool, you can say, all right, we're going home, and you're 10 steps away from home.
Yeah, so I don't think we're not like intentionally exclusive
But it makes it harder
in
when
our
we don't go
relationship.
anywhere.
But because it's hard for us and any other moms,
Right.
to like go places and do things. Like our relationship is close and kind of exclusive just because of proximity.
Yes.
And how easy that is for us. And it's not that we don't include other people, but that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Like, so
So we live, kind of crunchy lifestyles. We
yep.
have a big shared garden, and we try to eat the best we can. We also cheat a lot. But we have natural parenting practices.
Yep.
We breastfeed. I plan to have a third child with Brittany. Unfortunately, can't get pregnant quite at the moment because I have a whole host of chronic illness issues, but we'll go into that later. Just so we could breastfeed each other's babies when she's at the office or I have a doctor's appointment. And I think that's probably not a normal neighbor relationship.
Probably not typical.
Or even friend relationship.
No,
But
we have a lot of friends that live like a natural, crunchy lifestyle. There's
Yes.
there's a pretty strong community for that locally around here, let
Yeah.
alone like our online friends. So we have a lot of that. But it's probably not the majority of people, and it maybe some things are. Not everybody does like crunchy or natural parenting or any version of parenting to the nth degree. So like. We tend to be natural and crunchy, but not in every way.
Right.
And that would be true for other people too. Like I don't cloth diaper.
I did.
I just didn't. Like I baby wear constantly. Like my youngest now is 2, and like he popped out and I wore him all the time and never put him down. And that's like, and I nursed my oldest until he was 3 and my youngest until he was 2. And like that is kind of the focus of my like natural crunchy parenting. But I didn't cloth diaper, whereas some people, do that and don't do other things. And I don't think we're not judgmental about that kind of stuff.
No.
I don't care how you parent, because that affects you and your kids. Now we are judgmental about some things.
Yeah.
I mean, we're extremely harsh in some people's view when it comes to whether or not you're a decent person.
Yes.
We don't tolerate toxicity. We will cut people out so quickly.
My mother is gone. My sisters are gone. My husband's entire family. Well, his parents are gone. His sister's gone. Like we just don't.
And we have a small friend group in part because of that, like, aspect of our personalities. Like
We're also not what you would call approachable.
yeah.
We have,
Not really.
we're kind of dark and broody and have some rusty bitch
Yeah.
face.
So we are not. I don't think we're judgmental in like a bitchy way or
We're never going
a
to
rude
shame
way.
a formula feeder.
Like I don't care about those kinds of choices you make. I do care if the choices that you make affect other people.
Yes.
And their well-being and their life. Like I care if your opinions are harmful to other people, and I will be really harsh and judgmental about that.
Absolutely.
Like if your beliefs infringe upon another person's like rights or well-being
Or happiness.
I am very judgmental about that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But I don't care about like how you feed your kid.
The only thing that I would judge parents for, I think, would be, aside from abuse, but we will judge the fuck out of you if you think your baby should sleep through the night. Like, if you ask me why your 6-month-old doesn't sleep through the night, my head's going to explode.
I'm gonna laugh because my 5-year-old doesn't.
I'm 33 and I do not sleep through the night, so that drives me a little bit bonkers.
Although really the judgment, I suppose, is more towards our society in general.
Yes, we do.
For setting up expectations for parents that are so unrealistic.
Absolutely.
Because it's bullshit. It's bullshit that we see in our local parenting group these questions asked so often by first-time parents because they've been given, like, again, it's not because I have any judgment towards them, really, but they've been given such unrealistic expectations for parenthood before they ever had their first kid.
Sometimes by doctors.
And then they feel blindsided or, like, they're struggling,
Yes.
and I don't feel like people would struggle as much
if their expectations
if they had
were
more information going into
Yes.
it. And I think that sucks.
It does.
And I think that's I don't appreciate that. I think that's not great for our society.
No, it's not.